Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Growing with the Gold. We've got a really cool episode for you today. We're going to use some of these Crown Jewels products in a little bit different way than a lot of people may be used to, and we're going to brew some compost teas. We're going to mix them with some worm castings, the Grow, and the Boost to create a tea specifically for the job we're going to be using this for, which is feeding our potato towers. You've seen those potato towers in some earlier videos. If you haven't seen them, check them out. That format's difficult for us to amend. We can't really mix top dress fertilizers in on the sides, can't really come at it very well from the top. So the natural best solution is to get it in liquid, and we can just water those fertilizer teas in. When your gardens are all thick, full, and lush, this is a great way to be able to use those Crown Jewels products, get that extra fertilizer without making a mess, being dusty, and pouring it all over your plants. So today, we're gonna brew a concentrated batch of about 16 gallons that will then break out to about 100 gallons. So when I'm thinking about how much fertilizer and worm castings I'm using, I'm thinking we're making 100 gallons. We're gonna brew it in this 16 gallon, it'll be concentrated, and then we'll break it out into about 100 gallons. This doesn't have to be too perfectly precise. It's pretty forgiving, but we're gonna follow the instructions just to show you how it's done. So when you think about our proportions here, we like to think about 1 cup of Crown Jewels fertilizer for every 10 gallons. Now, I got 5 cups pre-measured here of the Grow, 5 of the Boost. So we have this high phosphorus, high potassium, high calcium tea, but with that little bit of extra nitrogen from the Grow to get those potatoes, that extra like little green up and help push them through to that flowering and fruiting process. But when you're fruiting and getting those tubers growing, you really want a lot of calcium, a lot of potassium, and a lot of phosphorus. So this Crown Jewels Boost, the Imperial Boost, is a perfect product for your potatoes when they're forming tubers. Same with dahlias or any other tuberous type of flower or vegetable. So these are pre-measured. We're gonna do about the same with our worm castings, where we're gonna do about 10 cups. We got 1 cup in there now, 2, we'll get these all measured in, we'll get these all dumped in, mix it all together and show you what the results are in just a minute. So we're using a fine mesh bag. There's a lot of different things you can use for this process. You can use a paint strainer bag from your local hardware store. You can use a tied off old t-shirt, old pantyhose. The concept's the same. You want to keep a good amount of this stuff in the bag, but let it flow through, let the water be able to come and go and pull the smaller particles right out into your tea mixture. And let the biology and the water mix together so that biology grows as you give it more food. So we've got our 10 cups. We're just gonna add this pre-measured Grow, the pre-measured Imperial Boost. We're just gonna pop this right in our tank. We'll just get that submerged. Get as much of that stuff in there as possible. And then you go ahead and give it a little bit of a massage. Get all that stuff working in there, well hydrated. You can see already this tea is coloring up. Keep it nice and tight. And screw that on. So we've got all of our ingredients added to our filter bag, the Crown Jewels Grow, the Imperial Boost, and our worm castings. We've got it in there, well hydrated, ready to go. We're using a cone tank. If you don't have that at home, no big deal. You can do this in a 5-gallon bucket, a 55-gallon barrel, whatever you have at home as a vessel. All you really need is an air pump and a couple air stones, some sort of filter bag, and a thing of water. And you can easily get this going at home on a bare bones budget, found items, nice and simply. So this is a great way to take what you have at home and get the best you can get out of your Crown Jewels products. We're gonna leave this to brew for about 24 to 48 hours. Then we're gonna mix it into a tank and apply it to our potatoes. So we brewed up our compost tea. We're gonna get that applied. You can really see the difference when you take a look at these potatoes versus our potatoes in the other containers that are easy to feed, that we've been continuing to top dress. There's a vast difference in the color. These are getting a little yellow, a little bit peaked, showing their hunger. The ones in the big pots that we've top dressed, they look lush, green, vigorous. We're hoping that this compost tea application gets these back on the right path and we get some gigantic potatoes out of here. We're gonna apply that diluted tea. We brewed 16 gallons, then put it into about 100 gallons of water. So we got about 110 gallons or so of compost tea diluted down. We're gonna get these potatoes. We're also gonna get some of our squashes and other vegetables and flowers in here. But check it out, we'll get this applied. We'll see you next time.